Hello and welcome back to my vlog where I've been sharing my own authentic journey towards whole healing and whole health, and just sharing all the crazy ups and downs and the things that we go through as a physical chemical being here on earth, trying to live out our soul spiritual karmic unfolding, and in the hopes that some of the struggles that I've had and the life lessons that I've learned along the way can help you speed up your own authentic whole healing journey. Hi, my name's Andrea Coulter, in case you don't know who I am, and I am a doctor of medical Heilkunst and homeopathy and the founder of the Iome Healing System. And last week I was talking about finally, finding that perfect soulmate, or, finding that one person that I connected with and I resonated with on so many different levels that, I knew that this was a bigger, more important relationship in my life than I've had in the past. And again, if you haven't, if this is the first time you're jumping in to see these videos, follow through and enjoy and subscribe. But if you haven't actually started at the beginning, I really suggest you go back and watch right from the beginning, where I talk about my never been well since, the whole reason why I got on this journey in the first place, and so that you can sort of understand the chronological order. Anyway, from here, I was sharing, I was in my mid-20s. I finally, in my youth, how I struggled to feel like I was never going to find that one person that, I was going to share my life with. And then, lo and behold, I stumbled across this person, not even looking, and we were going along swimmingly, and things seemed good, and life was great, and I had a good job, and my relationship was good, and I was riding my horse, and I was showing, and I was doing all the things that I'd always really wanted to do. I was feeling finally like a real adult. And just when you think things are finally going your way, as life will have it, it likes to give you more life lessons. So unfortunately, at this point, I was at the point where we were making plans for our wedding, and our wedding was coming up that actual year. And when my father, it's when my father fell ill. So he'd been struggling with some issues and hadn't been sharing what he had been getting results of, and at Christmas time kind of had kept it all under wraps, and then in January sort of threw a bomb on us that he had cancer, and it was sort of everywhere, and there was nothing they could do for him. And I ended up leaving work for the next couple of months to just sit and be with him in the hospital as he deteriorated. And it's interesting, it was at that time that I'd been doing all this stuff holistically and health-wise and nutrition, and I'd done all these changes, and I knew a certain amount, but it was his unfolding and his passing that really, and when he was sick, it's when I really realized that I didn't really know enough to help somebody else. And that really upset me and bothered me at the time, that no matter what I was doing or the knowledge that I had, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't going to be enough to save him. Now, in hindsight, I understand that, it wasn't my soul spiritual journey, it was his, and that in all honesty, you cannot save another person. You can only save yourself, truthfully. But you can help if somebody else wants help. And those were big life lessons for me, and that's sort of what was going on, in my life at that time. Right before I was getting married, my father passed away before his 50th birthday. It was certainly not what I wanted in life, but it is what it is, and it was his journey and unfolding to go through for whatever reason he needed to go through it. And for me to be able to take the time to recognize that I didn't have the knowledge that I wanted to have, and so that actually, his passing spurred me on to take my course. And that's really what started this whole unfolding of going to school and looking at ways that I could become then a practitioner and have more knowledge and be able to help everybody else. Again, at the time, my drive to become a practitioner was because I was going to save everybody else that I loved. I was going to find a way to never let somebody else I love and hold dear to me die of cancer. Unfortunately, as I said, that life lesson took a long time for me to get. But this is where it all started. It started with the passing of my father far too early, and me thinking and feeling like I didn't do enough or I hadn't done enough. And again, I'll get into this further down the road, but that in and of itself was my own cancer state. Wanting to fix and help and do for everybody else. And yeah, so that this isn't a very long blog this week. It's just, life has shitty times. It does. There are times that, it breaks your heart to watch a loved one struggle and to die, and you feel like you have nothing you can do. And what I will give away this week that I learned in going through that, and I've lost, dear friends since of cancer and, disease, and it's a part of life, unfortunately. And I think for me to be able to cope and get through it and to help others realize that, remember, it's not your journey, it's their journey. And we don't know what another human being with a soul spiritual essence needs to go through. We don't know what their karmic destiny is. We don't know what it is they need to unfold and learn. Their life lessons are their life lessons, And I think that's an important thing to remember in this life, is that as much as it pains those of us still left here alive on earth to lose someone we love deeply, remember that it's their journey and that it was their destiny and their choice, and you got to love them and be a part of their life for a period of time. And that in and of itself is an incredible blessing. So that's what I wanted to share with this week's vlog. And if you have somebody in your life that has struggled with an illness or is struggling with an illness, I would really like for you to share with me, what life lessons do you think you need to take away from that connection with that person? If you've had an epiphany, or you're having some thoughts, or you really have no idea and maybe you would like a little bit of help understanding, please, reach out, and I'm happy to help in any regard that I can. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you subscribe. Remember, ring the little bell so that you don't miss out on another one. If you haven't watched any before, please go back and watch those. And I hope that all my inspiration and my sharing my own struggles, gives you something to maybe help make your life a little bit easier and maybe bring a little more clarity to your life. So for the rest of this week, have an amazing week. And remember, be fully authentic in your life. Own it completely. That's all that we can truly do. Until next week, bye.